You can speak up about what's happening in the world in a healthy, constructive, positive way and still be part of the solution without being divisive, without being negative, without promoting what they want, what the government and the powers that be and the media want, which is conflict, divisiveness, divide and conquer is their plan. You can speak up about it and still maintain your humanity and still maintain a positive outlook. I'm inspired to talk about this in this live session because I recently got a comment on the Candace Owen post that I'll be sharing. I share all these clips to all my platforms at G Mark Phillips. So I'll be sharing it to my YouTube platform as well. It's a short video. She's talking about conspiracy theorists. Like, if you're not a conspiracy theorist by now, and then you might not be an intelligent person. Again, her words, not mine, but I do agree with her. And I also say that a little bit of tongue in cheek. Lots of people accuse those of us that are speaking out about it because we're done. Like, I speak out about it because I'm done. I'm done giving the government me more of my freedoms. I'm done signing off on them to use my tax dollars to buy bombs to drop on women and children in other countries. I'm done with the corruption. I'm done with them using my money to buy mansions on the ocean, private yachts, private this, private that. I'm over it. I'm over it. And I'm a positive, happy person. I mean, my YouTube channel started as my mission's always been to enhance the human experience. My YouTube channel is about sharing knowledge and information about how to have a better, happy life. And I realized in 2021, not in 2020, I knew something was up in 2020. I just didn't know what they were up to. They're always up to no good. I knew in 2021, September 2021 specifically, that the game had changed. Like, they were going on a high level offensive to take more freedom, more money, more power and control from us. And so I was like, nah, you can't actually have that. I'm not going to stand back and at least not not resist you in some way, right? The great resist versus the great reset. So I realized that they had taken it to a new level, and I thought, well, I'm not going to sit back and allow it, because what happened was I realized the biggest problem facing humanity, the biggest parasite on humanity, is those people, right? You know who they are. Are those people that are creating the divisiveness, raping and pillaging third world countries for their resources, impoverishing third world countries, impoverishing America. There is an attack on the middle class. There's an attack on all classes. It's just that wealthy people have enough resources to weather the storm. But I'll tell you something. You do not have enough money to weather the storm that the GOV and the powers that be are going to bear down and are bearing down on us. I've often said it. I've said it in recent videos. There will be no conscientious objectors in this battle, ultimate battle between good and evil. There will be no conscientious objectors. Eventually, everyone will pick a side. Me being a proactive person, and I'm proactive in a lot of areas of my life. Me being a proactive person, I said to myself, I'd rather nip a problem in the bud sooner rather than later, because if you wait till it gets later, the problem is bigger and harder to nip in the bud. It's the alligator story. Would you rather take care of an alligator when it's this big or when it's 15 foot and wants to eat you for lunch? Well, I'd rather take care of it when it's this big. Don't let problems get out of hand. The problem we have in America is we have allowed, and I'm just as guilty as the next person, we've allowed our problems to get out of hand. And again, the biggest problem in America are the people that run our country and the organizations behind them that fund them, that give them their marching orders, that capture them. Remember, from my experience, it's corporations, it's billionaire philanthropists, it's special interest groups, it's the so-called deep state. 40-something% of the funding that goes to the FDA comes from fees from the pharmaceutical industry. So how would you expect the FDA to regulate the pharmaceutical industry if they're basically funded by the pharmaceutical industry? That's why I think it was easy for pharma to push their quote unquote medicine on people, because That's where they get their money from. You know, if you're familiar with the Thrive movie from what's his name? I forget his name at the moment. That gentleman there, he has that pyramid, and he shows how government is structured from his research. Money flows from the top, right? You have the banks and the corporations and the private central banking families flowing down to governments, police, and then the people are at the bottom. And it's a top-down power structure. I wasn't really aware of that till the last few years as I'm diving into my journey. But my point, and to circle back to my topic here, you can resist these people, these evil people. You can exploit them. You can share knowledge and information that will help your fellow human beings wake up and still be a positive person, still be a happy person. You don't have to get crazy, right? But you will offend people. There's no question, because I'm a firm believer in what Ron Paul said: in an empire of lies, truth is treason. And many people, I used to be one of them, many people who have been captured and live captive, psychologically captive, by the propaganda machine run by our media, federal government, advertising agencies. You know, they hire the best advertisers in the world. All these people do it. Israel hired the best advertisers in the world to create a propaganda campaign to make them look like the good guys when they're really the oppressors. Remember, Malcolm X talked about it too. I mean, don't be careful with the media. The media can make the oppressors look like the oppressed, and vice versa. They're very, very good. Israel's paid big money to advertising firms for 50, 60, 70 years to make them look like the victims, that they're just defending themselves. When you dig a little deeper and you watch a lot of the documentaries in the Great Awakening Guide at greatawakeningguide.com, you realize that is not the case. And the modern Zionist state of Israel, so-called state of Israel, are the oppressors, are the aggressors, are the colonizers. I never knew that. And then you realize that once you wake up to that, you're now in the group of Jewish rabbis. Many Jewish people are like, yeah, we're not with those people. Those people are Zionists. We're Jewish people, authentic Jewish people, and we support life no matter who you are. It's a wild ride here in the world, and this is, I don't know. This is the ultimate battle, from at least in my lifetime, that I've ever seen. It's an information war. It's a psychological war. It's a psyop, to be honest. That's why I encourage people to do their research. You definitely do not want to be fighting for and being on the side of an oppressor that doesn't care about you and actually wants to undermine you and your family and take away freedoms and take away economic prosperity from you. I don't know how people can't see that the federal government doesn't have their best interest at heart. They allow, via the FDA, corporations to put all sorts of funky elements in food. Preservatives, bad for the gut. Seed oils, very, very inflammatory. High sugar, super bad for the body. No nutritional value whatsoever. I'm talking about artificial, or I'm talking about, any type of sugars. If it comes from fruit, I don't count that, but sugars. Preservatives, bad for the body. Excitotoxins make food taste better than it is. I don't know how. And then let's talk about the financial industry. The government bails out Wall Street, which are their colleagues, friends in Wall Street, using your money. Do you get a bailout when you make a bad financial decision? Neither do I, but they do, because it's one big club and you ain't in it. We ain't in that club. It's one big club. The government uses our money to purchase bombs to drop on people just like us, innocent civilians, moms, dads, women, and children in other parts of the country. And then the government uses our money to pay corporations like Halliburton to go in and rebuild those places. It's a money laundering system, and they're using our money to finance it. And they keep us distracted with bread and circuses, because if the truth got out about what they were really doing, it wouldn't be good business, wouldn't be good for them. Let's just leave it at that. So please inform yourself about what's happening in the world. Be part of the solution if you can. I know these are divisive, trying times, but you can be on the side of good and shine the light of awareness and expose these people. Many people are doing it. all different walks of lives, moms, dads, lawyers, doctors, teachers, scientists. Many people are fighting for humanity because they wake up, they've awakened to the fact that, oh boy, we know who the problem child in the world is, and it isn't who we've been told it is. So you can be a force for good in the world and still be a good human being. Be a uniter, be a lover, be be a helper, be a server. A person who is under the spell of propaganda, they may not see you that way. They may attack you and call you a negative, bad person. But just remember, when you think about them, they're in an experience of Stockholm syndrome, because they have bonded with their captors to such a degree and believe the propaganda that their captors have fed them to such a degree that they don't know any better. Right? If you are raised from the day you're born to believe that your federal government is your best friend, they educate you, they may help feed you, they may have done all these wonderful things for you, or that have the perception of doing these wonderful things for you, and someone speaks critically of that government, of course, it's understandable you're going to attack that person, because that is, quote unquote, your mommy or daddy, so to speak. That's where we're at in the world. Hold the line, continue to educate yourself. One of the mistakes that I made in the past, I don't make it anymore, is thinking that I already know what's going on. I believe there are layers to the deception. There are layers to the lies and deception in our world. And I don't profess to be all knowing, that I know everything about what's happening, because my understanding changes on a weekly basis. My understanding about Trump has changed. I voted for the dude twice. I will not vote for him again, because as I learn more about him and who he aligns himself with, I don't like him or his policies anymore. He's a supporter of Netanyahu in Israel. Right there, game changer. He has put a number of people in his cabinet that are, what I feel, establishment people. He's even talking about putting Jamie Dimon and Larry Fink into his cabinet, Treasury Secretary, etc. He did Operation Warp Speed. He bailed out, gave the pharmaceutical industry, which is the most corrupt industry on the planet, billions of dollars. That's a no-go for me. He convinced, millions of people to take a medicine that is from those companies. That's a no-go for me. Like, I can't go there. That's a huge, it's a game changer. In addition to many other things, I've talked about it in different videos on my channel, but my point is this: continual learning and research, and that's why I put together the Great Awakening Guide at greatawakeningguide.com to help you do that. All those documentaries, I've not watched them all myself. I'm plowing through them as much as I can. But there's my piece. I hope this message finds you well. I would love to have you as a subscriber, not only here, but also on my YouTube channel. While you're watching on YouTube channel at G Mark Phillips. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Until next time, I wish you all the best health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.